Take a look at this animal. It's a turtle, and this one is a turtle too. But animals that live mostly on land are usually called tortoises. That means every tortoise is technically a turtle, but not every turtle is a tortoise. Turtles are incredibly ancient creatures. They existed long before humans and even before the dinosaurs disappeared. Today, scientists have identified more than 350 different species of turtles across the planet. You can find them almost everywhere. Some live in muddy rivers and swamps. Others glide through the open ocean. And some species survive in extremely dry environments like deserts. Turtles also come in many unusual shapes. Some species look heavily armored, almost like prehistoric ankylosaurs. Others have long, flexible necks that resemble snakes. Some turtles have shells so strong they can resist powerful bites from predators. Meanwhile, a few species have shells that are surprisingly flat, almost like a pancake, and others have heads that appear unusually large compared to their bodies. But the most fascinating part of a turtle might be its shell. Unlike what many people believe, the shell is not just something sitting on the turtle's back. It is actually part of the animal skeleton. The shell is connected to the turtle's ribs and spine, almost like a natural suit of armor fused directly into the body. Nerves run through the shell as well, which means turtles can actually feel when something touches it. Because of this, separating a turtle from its shell would be like trying to remove a human skeleton from a body. It simply isn't possible. Another interesting feature is that turtles are the only animals capable of pulling their entire bodies inside their ribcage. But some of the strangest turtle facts involve how they breathe and get rid of waste. One unusual species, called the Chinese soft-shell turtle, can actually release waste through its mouth. It has a special structure in its throat that collects urea, a waste product normally removed through urine. The turtle dips its head underwater, flushes its mouth with water, and then expels the waste. Even more surprisingly, that same structure also functions somewhat like gills, allowing the turtle to stay underwater for long periods without coming up for air. Another species, the Fitzroy River turtle from Australia, has an even stranger ability. It can absorb oxygen through structures located in its cloaca, allowing it to breathe through its rear end while underwater. But perhaps the most impressive survival trick belongs to turtles living in colder climates. Species such as the painted turtle and the snapping turtle can survive for months without oxygen during winter. When lakes freeze, these turtles bury themselves in the mud at the bottom and enter a state similar to hibernation. Their metabolism slows dramatically, allowing them to survive until the ice melts. Even though turtles are often associated with slow movement, some species can move much faster than expected. Soft-shell turtles, for example, can run surprisingly quickly on land and even reach speeds close to 15 miles per hour. Turtles also have a remarkable ability to navigate. Scientists believe they can sense the Earth's magnetic field thanks to microscopic magnetic particles inside their brains. This natural compass allows sea turtles to travel enormous distances across the ocean. Some individuals swim thousands of miles during their lives, yet still return to the exact same beach where they were born in order to lay eggs. Another fascinating fact about turtles is their longevity. A turtle that is over 100 years old can still have organs functioning almost as well as those of a much younger turtle. Because of this, many turtles don't really die from traditional aging in the way humans do. Interestingly, turtles do not reach reproductive maturity based on age alone. Instead, it depends mostly on size. If a turtle grows large enough, it can reproduce regardless of whether it is 5 years old or 20. And when it comes to size, the largest turtle alive today is the leatherback sea turtle. These giants can grow nearly 8 feet long and weigh over 2,000 pounds. Another famous species, the green sea turtle, gets its name not from the color of its shell, but from the slightly green color of its body fat, which comes from its plant-based diet. Now let's move from the ocean to one of the most powerful predators on land, the tiger. Tigers are the largest members of the cat family. They are known for their strength, stealth, and distinctive orange coats covered in black stripes. Many people know that every tiger's stripe pattern is unique, similar to human fingerprints. However, what many people don't realize is that these stripes are not just in the fur. The pattern actually exists in the skin itself. Even if the fur were shaved off, the same stripe pattern would still remain. Despite their reputation as dominant predators, tigers face serious challenges today. There are roughly 20,000 tigers alive in total, but only about 5,000 still live in the wild. The rest live in zoos or protected facilities. Another surprising fact is that tigers do not live in Africa. They're found mainly across parts of Asia. Tigers spend a large portion of their day resting. In fact, they can sleep for nearly 18 hours a day. When they do hunt, it usually happens at night. Tigers rely heavily on stealth. They move slowly through tall grass and dense vegetation, carefully approaching their prey without being noticed. Once they're close enough, they launch a powerful and sudden attack. But hunting is not easy, even for a tiger. Their success rate is estimated to be less than 10%. Because of this, tigers may attempt hunts frequently, but only manage to capture prey occasionally. When they do succeed, they eat a massive amount of food in one sitting, sometimes up to 20% of their body weight. If there's food left over, tigers often hide the remains under leaves, grass, or dirt to keep scavengers from stealing it. Physically, tigers are incredibly powerful animals. Their legs are strong enough to launch them forward in massive leaps, and their top running speed can reach around 60 kilometers per hour, although they can only maintain that speed for a short burst. Interestingly, tigers also enjoy water. Unlike most cats, they are excellent swimmers and may spend long periods cooling off in rivers or lakes. Some even hunt fish. Tiger cubs are born completely blind and rely entirely on their mother for the first few weeks of life. They usually stay with their mother for nearly 2 years before becoming independent. Unfortunately, survival in the wild is harsh, and more than half of tiger cubs do not reach adulthood. In the wild, tigers typically live around 15 years. And according to popular belief, the pattern on a tiger's forehead resembles the Chinese symbol meaning king, which is one reason they are often called the kings of the forest. Next, let's look at a creature that seems almost alien, the lobster. At first glance, lobsters look like a strange mix between crabs and armored insects. These animals have existed for millions of years and even survived the catastrophic event that wiped out the dinosaurs. Lobsters are full of bizarre biological traits. For example, they taste using sensors on their legs. Even stranger, they chew their food using structures located inside their stomach. This internal grinding system acts like a set of tiny teeth that crush food before it is digested. Lobsters also communicate in unusual ways. They release chemical signals through urine, which they spray from glands located near their antennae. These chemical signals can help establish dominance or attract potential mates. Most lobsters have 2 claws that perform different functions. One claw is larger and designed for crushing hard shells, while the other is smaller and used for tearing and handling food. Interestingly, both claws start out the same size when a lobster is young. Over time, the claw that gets used more often develops into the powerful crusher. If the crusher claw is lost, the smaller claw can eventually transform into a new crusher while the regenerated claw becomes the smaller one. Another fascinating trait of lobsters involves aging. Unlike most animals, lobsters can repair the ends of their chromosomes, known as telomeres, which are normally linked to aging. Because of this, lobsters do not appear to age in the same way humans do. As they grow larger, lobsters periodically shed their shells through a process called molting. During this time, they form a new shell and may even regrow lost limbs. In theory, a lobster could continue growing for its entire life. However, molting becomes extremely energy-intensive as the animal grows older. Eventually, many lobsters stop molting and die because their bodies can no longer escape the old shell. The largest lobster ever recorded measured about 1 meter long and weighed roughly 50 pounds, and scientists estimated it to be more than 100 years old. Finally, let's talk about one of the most extraordinary birds in the world, the hummingbird. Hummingbirds are famous for their tiny size and incredible flying abilities. Relative to their body size, hummingbirds have one of the largest hearts in the animal kingdom. Their hearts beat incredibly fast, especially during flight. These birds are unique because they can fly in every direction: forward, backward, sideways, upward, and even upside down. They are also capable of hovering perfectly still in midair. To stay airborne, hummingbirds beat their wings roughly 70 to 80 times per second. This intense movement requires enormous amounts of energy. Their heart rate during flight can exceed 1,200 beats per minute, and they breathe hundreds of times each minute. Because of this high energy demand, hummingbirds must feed constantly. In a single day, they may consume more than half of their body weight in sugar from flower nectar. To survive the night without feeding, hummingbirds enter a special energy-saving state known as torpor. During torpor, their metabolism slows dramatically and their heart rate drops to only a fraction of its daytime speed. Hummingbirds also have excellent vision and memory. They can remember which flowers they have already visited and exactly how long it takes for those flowers to refill with nectar. Although nectar is their primary food source, hummingbirds also eat small insects such as mosquitoes, flies, spiders, and beetles. Their long tongues move rapidly in and out of flowers to collect nectar. Despite their tiny size, hummingbirds can also travel incredible distances during migration. The ruby-throated hummingbird, for example, can cross the Gulf of Mexico in a single non-stop flight lasting nearly 20 hours. Nature often rewards persistence, and sometimes even the smallest creatures on Earth can achieve the most extraordinary journeys.